I knelt on the cold floor, my wrapper soaked with tears. "Useless girl," Mrs. Williams shouted, waving her walking stick at me. "You will bring only bad luck into my son's life." I clutched my chest, struggling to breathe, but I refused to cry in front of her. Behind her, Daniel, my husband, stood stiffly by the door, his head bowed like a child caught in a lie. I had given up my job, my friends, my peace, all to make this marriage work. I had bent, smiled, cooked, and swallowed insults just to earn her love. But it was never enough. Now, as I knelt on the dusty tiles of her compound, with neighbors peeking from behind curtains, I understood something painful. Mrs. Williams did not just hate me. She wanted to destroy me. And the worst part? Daniel might just let her do it.
Alakaztra Fairy Folktales.
When I first met Daniel, it felt like a dream come true. He was tall, handsome, and spoke with a soft voice that could melt stone. We met during NYSC on a hot afternoon when I dropped my files, and he helped me pick them up. 1 year later, he proposed with a simple ring under the mango tree at our local park. I said yes with tears in my eyes. Daniel was my everything. I imagined a small but happy home. Weekend trips to the village, raising little boys with gap-toothed smiles. I didn't know then that I wasn't just marrying Daniel. I was marrying his mother too. Mrs. Williams showed her colors the first day Daniel brought me to her house in the village. She barely looked at me before asking in a loud voice, "Is this the girl you want to disgrace our family with?" I laughed nervously, thinking it was a joke. Daniel squeezed my hand and whispered, "Don't mind her." But I should have minded her. Our wedding was a small ceremony, not because we wanted it small, but because Mrs. Williams refused to allow Daniel's father to waste money on a woman without background. Still, I smiled through it all. I told myself that love was enough. We moved into Daniel's family house after the wedding. I had wanted us to rent our own apartment, but Daniel said, "Mama will feel lonely if we leave." I agreed. That was my second mistake. From the first morning, Mrs. Williams treated me like an outsider. She criticized my cooking. She complained that my clothes were too cheap. She rolled her eyes when I tried to join family discussions. "You think marriage is fine, girl, and English speaking," she would sneer. "You better open your eyes." I woke up early every day to fetch water, sweep the compound, cook 3 meals, all while enduring her jabs and sharp tongue. If I made pounded yam, she said it was too soft. If I cooked jollof rice, she said it was too smoky. If I smiled, she said I was laughing like a goat. Daniel tried to defend me sometimes, but he was a soft man. "Mama is just stubborn," he said. "Give her time." But time only made it worse. One evening, as I served Mrs. Williams her food, she looked me up and down and said loudly, "Women like you bring shame to their husbands. No wonder Daniel has not bought a car yet." I felt the sting deep in my soul. That night, I cried silently beside Daniel, careful not to let him hear. Because I still believed. I still believed that love could conquer anything. As months passed, Mrs. Williams grew more wicked. She began whispering lies into Daniel's ears. "Your wife is lazy," she told him. "She is sucking all your strength." I noticed Daniel growing distant. He started coming home late, blaming work. He hardly smiled anymore. Our once lively home turned cold. The final straw came one afternoon. I returned from the market carrying a heavy basket of tomatoes, fish, and yam. As I entered the compound, I heard Mrs. Williams laughing with some women from the street. "She can carry basket, but cannot carry a child," she said loudly. The women roared with laughter. I stood frozen, feeling my heart tear apart. I was not even married 1 year, and already she was calling me barren. Tears burned my eyes, but I swallowed them. I would not give her the pleasure. When Daniel returned home that night, I tried to talk to him. "Your mother is saying terrible things about me," I said, voice shaking. He rubbed his forehead tightly. "Mary, you are overthinking. Mama is just old." "Old? old enough to break my spirit? I realized then that Daniel was not going to fight for me. I would have to fight for myself. I started saving small money from my petty trading. I stopped kneeling and begging. I carried myself with pride, even when my heart was bleeding. Mrs. Williams noticed, and she hated it. One morning, she stormed into our bedroom without knocking. "You are poisoning my son," she screamed. "I dreamt last night. Evil dreams. You are a witch." Daniel tried to pull her back, but she pushed him aside. "If you don't send her away," she hissed, pointing at me, "you will see disgrace." I packed my things that evening. Daniel begged. He cried. "Please, Mary, don't go," he said, holding my hand. I looked into his tired eyes and asked quietly, "Will you protect me?" He said nothing. His silence was my answer. I left the house with nothing but my dignity. Starting over was the hardest thing I had ever done. I moved into a small room at the back of a hair salon. I sold sleepers at the roadside. I ate curry and groundnuts for lunch. But I was free. No more insults. No more cold stares. No more kneeling before a woman who hated me for breathing. Slowly, my small business grew. I moved from slippers to handbags, then dresses. I saved every naira carefully. One bright Saturday, as I displayed my goods under the big mango tree, a clean black car pulled up. It was Daniel. He stepped out, looking thinner, older. "Mary," he said quietly, "I miss you." I stared at him, feeling old wounds scratch open. He told me Mrs. Williams had fallen sick. He was tired, lonely. He wanted us to start over. For a long time, I said nothing. Then I smiled sadly. "I am not the same Mary you left," I said. "I learned how to live without begging for love." He begged for another chance. I thought of all the nights I cried alone. I thought of the girl who had knelt on cold tiles, begging for respect. And I shook my head. "I forgive you," I said, "but I have forgiven myself more." I watched him drive away, feeling light for the first time in years. I looked up at the sky, bright and wide, and smiled. I was no longer the helpless girl who lost herself trying to please others. I was Mary, and my life was just beginning.